At the dawn of the computer age, there was a man named Howard Aiken. He was the one who built the first electromechanical computer in the world. And although he is not very well known today, his work laid the foundation for modern computers. So this is the story of how Aiken changed the world without anyone knowing about it. In 1926, Aiken was born in Brooklyn, New York. His father owned a hardware business, and his mother was a mathematician. Although from an early age, Aiken was fascinated by machines. When he was just 13 years old, he was already assembling and disassembling engines. At the age of 14, he built his own motor scooter, which he powered with a 2-horsepower engine that he got from a discarded Ford Model T. When he finished high school, Aiken enrolled at Cornell University to study mechanical engineering. But after graduating, he didn't really know what to do with his degree. So he took a job at the engineering firm of Clarence Kelly. There he worked on the design of numerically controlled machine tools. It was here that Aiken realized that the repetitive calculations involved in this process could be greatly sped up if done by a machine. So he started working on a plan to build the world's first programmable, fully automatic calculating machine. It took him 5 years to convince the company's management to let him build his machine, but eventually they gave him the green light. In 1937, Aiken and a team of engineers began designing the machine that would come to be known as the anti-analyzer. The device would consist of 3 main parts: the motor, a control unit, and a punch tape. The motor would move a series of gears that would then rotate metal wheels, each of which represented a different digit from 0 to 9. The control unit was basically a complicated clock mechanism that allowed the machine to keep track of time and perform calculations at high speed. The punch tape, which was made of heavy paper, would tell the machine which operations to perform. Each hole in the tape corresponded to a different operation. By punching out a particular sequence of holes, Aiken could program the machine to carry out any calculation he desired. Although the anti-analyzer was the first electromechanical computer, it wasn't the first calculating machine ever built. There had been many such devices throughout history, but what set the anti-analyzer apart was its ability to be reprogrammed. This made it much more versatile than its predecessors and allowed it to be used for a variety of different tasks. Aiken and his team completed the anti-analyzer in 1943. The following year, the U.S. government purchased it for use in the Ball-Top project, which aimed to create a new method for aiming artillery shells. The anti-analyzer was used to calculate the trajectory of artillery shells, enabling the military to fire more accurately. After the war, Aiken went back to his job at Kelly's firm, but he soon realized that he didn't want to spend the rest of his life making industrial equipment. He wanted to be involved in something more important. So he left the company and joined the faculty of Harvard University as Graduate School of Business as a professor of business and engineering. While at Harvard, Aiken met a man named John Tanasoff, who was a professor of physics. The two men hit it off immediately and began working on a plan to build a new kind of computer. Unlike the anti-analyzer, which used electromechanical parts, the new machine would use vacuum tubes. This would make it much faster and more accurate. Aiken and Atanasoff named their new invention the Atanasoff-Berry computer, or ABC. The ABC was completed in 1937 and was the first electronic digital computer. However, the U.S. government didn't see the value in such a machine and refused to fund further development. As a result, Aiken and Atanasoff were forced to abandon their project. In 1946, Aiken joined the Eckert Mauchly Computer Company and helped build the ENIAC, which was one of the first general-purpose computers. After helping to develop the ENIAC, Aiken returned to Harvard, where he continued his research on computers until his death in 1973. During his career, he held numerous patents related to computer technology. Today, Aiken's name is largely forgotten But without his contributions, the development of modern computers would have been greatly delayed. So hopefully this video has helped to shed some light on the life of this important, but often overlooked pioneer of computing. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching.